almost 2 years, or a year and a half. My supervisor was new, and he was my supervisor. And what had happened was, this base, you know, and I'll give you a quick recap. Ben Waters was hopping every night. We'd have fights even on during the week. Woodbridge was dead a lot of the time. So and on Christmas night there was nothing going on. Like, you know, like the Santa Claus thing, not even the peep of a mouse. We were bored. And he called me up and he wanted me to ride around with him for a while. So I said, okay. So we met up, Sergeant Stephens, and as we were coming down the road, which is way down past the shack, I was sitting back, he was driving, and he just goes to me and goes, look, he goes, look in the sky, look at the tree line over there, what the hell is that, or something like that. I don't know what the hell maybe like that. But he didn't know what it was. He goes, you've been here a long time, have you seen anything like this? And this gate was not normally open after 6, sometimes 10 depending on operations, but normally Monday through Friday it would close at 6, no later than 10, but if it was open for alerts and stuff, I'd been out here. So I'd seen different, you know, as far as what it looked like down there. And everyone that's never been here before, there was no trees on either side, like Jim said. And so we saw something strange, and it got my attention. And so he said, and this is the first rule we broke, okay? And I'll be honest. He said, what do we do? And I says, well, being me, I said, let's go see what it is. He said, what? And I go, well, Bud, there's something out there. We got to kind of figure out what's going on. He agreed. So I jumped out, opened the gate, and we took off down that road. And you see that long road we just walked, right? And we got down to the end of where that parking lot was. We took a quick right, and we turned the vehicle around, okay? And there, it was in the woods, okay? And depending on, you know, in memory's old, but it was fluctuating where it was in the woods, up and down, back and forth. It was white, red, and all those different colored lights. But when we turned the vehicle around, I jumped out real fast to look into the woods, and there was a real static electricity in there. It was a real freaky. And I heard some people getting out tonight and going, whoa, this is freaky. You know, but there was some kind of static electricity in there. And I kind of looked at him, and he looked at me, and we knew we were in trouble. Not so much that we thought we were going to be attacked, but what are we doing down here? We don't know what the hell's going on. Something doesn't seem right, and if something starts to happen, how the hell are we going to explain this? Yeah. So we whipped right back around and took off right back down here and came flying back through this gate and went right up to that gate shack. And as we're coming back, I think I remember kind of like, what the hell are we going to do? We're going to call this in, and it was like, well, we better call it in because it just isn't right. So right there's got to tell you something. Why, if it was the lighthouse, and can anybody see the lighthouse? Why, if it was the lighthouse?
It's a lighthouse. It's a lighthouse.
Call on the phone to start shit. Yeah. No, it wasn't. That wasn't happening. We saw something we couldn't identify, and it was strange, and it made it feel us uncomfortable. And it felt. I don't want to go into the security hazard, but it felt like it could be some kind of threat. It had to be because we wouldn't have called it in. So we went up to the gate and called it in. Well, the guy on the desk was the guy that I'd screwed with for over a year and a half, and I love screwing. I'm just telling you, I did. I had him one time. We called the flight chief up and jump in the car to come looking for me because he thought there was some drunk on the phone. As I picked up, we had hotlines all over and made him think I was screwing with him. So he didn't want to believe me. So he didn't want to believe me. So he said, "Look, I don't believe you. I think you're screwing with me." And so he was listening to what I was trying to describe. So get that. Think about that for a minute. The guy was getting a weird feeling what I was trying to tell him and didn't want to believe it, okay? So he thought, what the hell? So at that point, I think he tried to call my bluff and said, well, you know, I'm going to transfer you to CSC and you can deal with them. And usually if it's a bluff at that point, oh, don't do that. Come on. But it went straight over to CSC. And when it goes to there, it gets serious, guys.
Well, we're serious guys, man.
Yeah, CSC is a different animal, not law enforcement. Not that we weren't serious, but that was, now we're talking about security, okay? Yeah. So I got on the phone with them and I started explaining what I saw. And what I always remember, and if you read Ed's statement, is that Bud and I were like really getting bugged by this, and we didn't like it, and we didn't really want it. We didn't understand it then, and we were really uncomfortable with it. And I said, look, Don, it was Donnie Dillard was his name, he was the sergeant. I said, look, there's something going on, and you need to get somebody else down here, and we need to figure out what we're going to do and what's going to happen. And he said, okay. And he gets on the radio, and what the hell does he do? Control, and it was his call sign. You need to respond code 2 down to the gate. We've got a report of a UFO. And that's the truth. That was what was said on the radio. And he came flying down here, and now it's just...
No, actually, they came across. I was at Chow Hall, and they were open later that night because they're 24-hour operations because of oxygen. I just got my breakfast. I was shooting the shit with some British national Ask about Boxing Day. I get a call.
That was John Boroughs, and this is Jim Penniston talking now.
A UFO.
Hope you can hear him.
Got my eggs in front of me. I go, can you repeat that? He says, 1012 this office. Call this office. So I go down and I call them on direct line. So what's going on out there? They said, police 4 and 5 have a situation on the East Case and I'll brief you when you get out there. Okay, that's no problem. Go code 2. Code 2?